The dawn of September 1939 shattered the peace of a nervous continent. Tension along the eastern borders culminated in an unprecedented display of mechanized warfare. Overhead, the skies darkened not with the unpredictable weather of the changing season, but with the meticulously orchestrated deployment of a modern aerial armada. For years, vast military preparations had transformed airfields, turning quiet European landscapes into staging grounds equipped with modern hangars and hardened defenses. Parades and flypasts served as stark warnings of the looming conflict. When the deployment order was finally issued, reconnaissance, bomber, and fighter units crossed seamlessly into hostile airspace, traversing the high Carpathians and sweeping down through the wide river valleys of central Poland. Their objective was absolute dominance. Striking with clinical precision, they mapped fortresses, targeted intricate railway grids, and decimated enemy aircraft before they could even leave the runway. In a breathtakingly brief span, the mechanics of modern war were completely redefined. By synchronizing rapid ground advances with overwhelming aerial firepower, an entire nation's defenses were systematically dismantled. The era of the prolonged static siege had ended. The age of three-dimensional, high-velocity combat had officially arrived. This is the rare German film of the Polish invasion, restored and in color.
For years, the Polish Air Force, just like the Polish Army, had been arming itself to the teeth. The air bases were thoroughly and excellently developed. Modern hangars were built at the airfields. Under the influence of the Western powers, a relentless campaign of incitement against Germany had begun. Parades featuring flypasts of aircraft formations were meant to showcase their own strength. Military advisors from the Western powers arrived, like this French general, to see the state of armament against Germany for themselves. The Polish generals held constant inspections. Rousing speeches were made about the size and strength of the Polish Air Force and the quality and number of their aircraft. Activity on the Polish runways. Deployment orders against Germany are being issued. Those were the Polish preparations. And on our side, we stand ready too, and will, if necessary, expand. The German Luftwaffe will fulfill the task assigned to it. Our Air Force is gearing up. All along Germany's eastern borders, the units are ready for a sudden strike whenever the Führer orders it. Calmly and punctually, like clockwork, the deployment of our units proceeds. In the final days of August 1939, political tension reaches its peak. Our armies are securing the Reich borders of East Prussia, Pomerania, Silesia, and Slovakia. On September 1st, the Führer orders the deployment of the Wehrmacht. Our armies march into Poland. The Luftwaffe receives its deployment order. The tension of readiness is replaced by the takeoff order for the combat mission. From East Prussia and Pomerania down to Slovakia, our units take off. Reconnaissance, bomber and dive bomber units fly into Polish airspace. Our fighters secure the advance of the Luftwaffe and the army in the air. The old Polish capital, Kraków. Flying over the famous old church of Częstochowa. Our planes come from the south over the high Carpathians and Beskids. Wide river valleys lead them into central Poland. You can see the peculiar pattern of the Polish flatlands. The oversized market squares of the Polish towns. The first in enemy territory are the reconnaissance units. Regardless of any enemy resistance, they observe with eye and camera and report what is happening. The cameras sometimes capture the target only through gaps in the clouds. Several missions are sometimes necessary to scout a combat target. Against the fortress of Warsaw from the north, the Vistula, on the left the suburb of Praga, the bridges over the Vistula, and on the right, the sea of houses of the big city. The F squadrons are everywhere, in the south, in Ukraine, over Lviv with its triangular railway station layout. Brest-Litovsk, lying far to the east with its rectangular street grid. And the old citadel, pushed forward on the Bug. All Polish fortresses are scouted by reconnaissance planes. Here is Demblin on the Vistula, the former Russian Ivangorod. At the confluence of the Narew and the Vistula, the Modlin fortress, the key to the capital, Warsaw. In the first few days, our armies push the Poles back with powerful blows. The Polish Corridor Army is cut off and destroyed. The German Pincer closes in on the Polish territory. In exemplary cooperation with the army, our bomber units are deployed suddenly. A Stuka unit on approach. Its mission, together with units of the Navy, is to break Polish resistance on the Westerplatte. The first Stukas are already attacking. bomb impacts flash. Initiating the dive. With a roaring engine, it goes into the depths. The target grows rapidly. In the smoke and haze of the impacts, the plane is pulled up again. Thus, the last Polish resistance in the liberated Danzig area is eliminated. The unit returns, flying over a Polish airfield. Enemy fighters on the runway. They are taking off. A Pole approaches. He takes fire. He tries to approach again, but has to turn away in the hail of bullets. The Polish fighter is very maneuverable, but too slow. Our bomber calmly lets him approach. The opponent flies erratically. He has engine damage and crashes. Everywhere we find Polish planes, shot down, burned, destroyed. In their own hangars, they lie around. In their own nests, we have destroyed the Polish Air Force. Our attack came so suddenly that many Polish units did not even get deployed. A flight over Polish airfields. Here is a small airbase. Next to barracks in the forest and the hangars at the edge of the forest, the craters of a bomb run shine brightly in the sandy soil. Here is the Brest-Litovsk airfield. The hangars are destroyed. Direct hits on planes in front of the hangars. Next to the railway station, the Biala airfield. The station and airfield have been put out of action. Lviv airfield. the same picture. Warsaw Okręcie Military and Civil Airport, a very modern facility, was paralyzed right at the beginning of the campaign. The powerful pincer of the German army groups squeezes the Polish armies from the south and north. The Polish east is cut off. Fortified sectors, bunker lines, and bridgehead positions are overrun. The enemy is in retreat everywhere. The bunker lines of Mlawa, which were built against East Prussia. But they did not withstand the onslaught of our Wehrmacht. Here is an aerial photo of the Narew bridgehead at Różan. The Poles destroyed the town by fire during their retreat. A fort of Różan. The Polish field airfield at Różan, the burned-out town, and the Narew Bridge. The bridgehead positions of Lomża on the Narew. The town was attacked and taken, bypassing the bridgehead. The Polish positions in front of the town of Lomża. Our bombers have effectively hit the bunkers in the town. Our reconnaissance planes report abandoned Polish positions with no combat activity. Quickly dug trench lines abandoned without a fight. The craters of our bombs lie along the retreat routes. The two German air fleets deployed dominate the entire Polish airspace after 4 days. Fighters and anti-aircraft guns are free for other missions. The bomber units attack the entire Polish transport network. All important railway junctions, railway lines, retreat routes, and bridges are cut. The enemy has no more supplies, no possibility for troop movements, and no communication between his individual army groups. Day after day, our units are on the move. This is the effect of our bombs. A double-track railway is cut. An armored train destroyed by dive bombers. A single bomb throws the entire train on its side. Enemy troops are attacked on the road. Our bombers break the resistance in contested towns. Power plants are shut down. Already in the first days of the war, the Warsaw main station is hit. Underground platforms were smashed right through the concrete ceiling. Our reconnaissance units have a large share in the successes. They are the first to observe and report the enemy. They are the first to see the combat targets and report their location. They capture all enemy targets and movements in aerial photographs. blown up railway bridges. A direct hit. Here are track hits. One half of the bridge is still intact. Railway line cuts are marked on the map. An armored train is destroyed. A moving freight train hit and derailed. The track systems of railway stations have been attacked. Here, at the end of the station tracks, a freight train tried to get away, but was derailed. By cutting the branch lines, traffic is blocked in every direction. Like links in a chain, the impacts of the stick bombing stand out in the light sandy soil of the railway junctions, clearly showing the effect. Here, only the station is destroyed. The town was spared as was done everywhere possible. Leaflet drop before Warsaw. Watch out, flak! A road reconnaissance. Here the road is empty. But now, the road is littered with random dots and spots, fleeing Polish troops. Bright craters from our bomb impacts line the road. A traffic jam at the intersection. Car convoys, infantry in confusion, abandoned positions in the fields with bomb craters. Constantly repeating images in these September days in Poland. The unit photo sections are always hard at work in this war of movement. The evaluation begins right with the negative. What the observer's eye couldn't catch, the aerial photo reveals under the magnifying glass. The combat unit's missions continue restlessly. Thick glooms of dust on the runway. From the plains, they see the columns of our victorious Wehrmacht in powerful advance on the roads. The combat zone is reached. Now the mission begins. Destruction of a railway junction. Over the target area, a railway station. The dive bomber begins its dive from an altitude of 5,000 meters. The railway station's facilities come into view. Now the plane is pulled up. The impact cloud from the lead plane's bomb drifts past. Back by the highway, a Polish troop camp. Machine gun fire from the trees along the highway. The mission is accomplished. The rapid forward deployment of the units is of great importance given the quick advance of our Wehrmacht. Our own transport squadrons are deployed, carrying the most important equipment in their spacious cargo holds and flying it to the new airfield. The advance of the air forces does not lag behind the rapidly pushing advance of the army. The planes see the columns of German troops below them. They see the bridge construction of our engineers. The new airfield is a Polish airbase. The unit has already landed at the new field. Camouflage can be dispensed with now, as there is hardly any enemy left in the air. The existing small hangar accommodates various ground organizations. The Ju-52s have brought the urgently needed equipment so that the new field can be put into operation immediately. The truck columns will bring the rest later. Flak units advance at the same time. With the arrival of the truck columns, the leap forward is complete. From the oil drum to the bomb, everything is back in place. The light flak moves into position to protect the airfield. Machine gun security during unloading, camp construction and digging trenches, because snipers are still shooting from the surrounding woods. Criminal rabble who are caught and immediately sentenced. The camp continues to be expanded. The heavy flak has also moved into position. The air traffic control service is working. Alarm! A single Polish fighter plane. To the guns. He is trying to gain altitude. There! A hit! Shot down. Another airfield. An antenna shows the unit's radio station under the trees. Here, communication with the planes in the air and with the command posts is constantly maintained. These short-range reconnaissance planes have set up under the cover of a forest edge. However, camouflage is no longer strictly enforced, as enemy air attacks are no longer to be expected. The indispensable Storch is also present. In the forest stands the squadron's workshop train with its highly efficient equipment, an indispensable part of the unit. When the planes return from their combat missions, there is always plenty of work to do. Minor combat damage can easily be repaired. This plane crashed because it took machine gun hits in the balloon tires of its landing gear. Here is a direct 4-centimeter flak hit in the fuselage of a Do-17. Here, a Ju-87 is coming in without landing gear. It made contact with the sea when pulling up after a dive attack on Hela. The landing gear lies in the Bay of Danzig. A nice belly landing. That went well once again. The heavy duty also requires rest. In addition, hair and body care are not forgotten. Nearby, a military bridge. The Führer is coming. The news just spread like wildfire across the airfield. He was with the troops outside Warsaw and wants to visit his pilots too. Like any other soldier, he also eats his meal at the field kitchen. His pilots surround him informally. He asks some of them about their experiences. Then a greeting, and the Führer's lunch break is over. On all fronts, the Luftwaffe's missions continue. Here, a bomber unit takes off from Slovakia. Flak positions. Flying over the Slovakian town of Spišská Nová Ves, many ethnic Germans wave to the pilots. Heading deep into Ukraine, Polish troop concentrations in the villages have been reported. At the target, attack! The bombardier calmly performs his tasks. The target comes into view. Release! The stick is on target. The next stick. Hits on troop concentrations. They also see the successes of their comrades. Everywhere, the effects of the mission. Suddenly, anti-aircraft fire from a town. The plane curves to make it harder to hit, while other squadron comrades immediately attack the anti-aircraft positions. The enemy anti-aircraft fire has been silenced. Flight over the sand near the destroyed bridge of Przemysl. The long return flight begins. Once again, the Carpathians are crossed. Landing at the operational airfield. A straggler arrives. The right wing is bent. The plane collided with another aircraft while banking in anti-aircraft fire. The crew cut the cable to the right aileron in mid-air, thereby freeing up the controls again. Presence of mind and good knowledge of their aircraft saved the crew and the plane. Great credit goes to the supply lines. Despite the rapid advance, the vital fuel, for example, is always plentifully available. Everything is being done to ensure that the fuel tanks of the units are always refilled in good time. Many special organizations. Here, an instrument flight beacon vehicle. We encounter a weather squad, determining air conditions at various altitudes using radiosondes. The Air Signals Unit ensures communication links between command and the units day and night. No easy task given the rapid advance and the constant changes of airfields and command posts. A staff photo section. Here, all aerial photo reports of the area are evaluated. A road reconnaissance film has arrived and is being evaluated. During the rough evaluation, the film shows vehicles and motor columns in good marching order, a Polish troop movement in the direction of flight. The infantry is probably in air raid cover because the road is remarkably empty. On the right, Polish artillery on the march. Behind them, supply vehicles in confusion due to an air raid alarm. Motor vehicle columns, apparently trucks for transporting Polish infantry. The crews of the trucks are apparently already in air raid cover, while here, with the artillery, everything is still running in confusion. Passenger cars and motorcycles, apparently as staff, smaller truck groups, another large column. Along the road, bomb impacts from our bombers. Comparative photos of the bridges of the Modlin fortress at the confluence of the Narew and the Vistula. Our bombers have destroyed the Narew bridge on the top right. The Polish engineers built a new military bridge over the Vistula on the left. This new Polish military bridge over the Vistula. The same military bridge also destroyed by our bombers. The Pole built a third bridge next to the destroyed Narew bridge, this time a pontoon bridge. The terrain sections covered by aerial photographs are carefully entered into the map. The staff photo section has all maps at the disposal of the units and also makes photo sketches and multiple plans. After 18 days, the Polish army is defeated. From the east, the Russians are marching in. The demarcation line is drawn. The remnants of the Polish corps troops, unless captured, are being squeezed together by the German army columns in the Vistula Bend. The ring is closing around the Modlin fortress and around the city of millions, Warsaw, made into a fortress by its resistance. Foreign diplomats and their staff leave the besieged fortress of Warsaw under German protection. The squadron leader of a reconnaissance squadron gives the operational order. In the course of the mission, the crew is to approach Warsaw from the north. The squadron leader gives the observer further details about the execution of the flight and points out in particular the anti-aircraft batteries already identified earlier in the various parts of the city. Shortly afterwards, the reconnaissance plane is in the air. There are still Polish troops in the forests. Columns of smoke show the way to the front. Rain clouds obstruct the view of the Vistula Bend. Combat effects in the forest. The wide band of the Nare is crossed. In the distance, the Modlin fortress is burning. In the rain, one can see the columns of smoke over Warsaw. Final orientation on the direction of approach. The outskirts of Warsaw have been reached. Our foremost lines are located here. In a cloud, the plane approaches the city. There, the suburb of Praga. Watch out, flak, turn! The anti-aircraft position is marked. Cloud cover again. Over the Vistula, the bridges are undamaged. With the hand camera, the visual observations are confirmed and supplemented. Over the city center, domed churches, air raid shelters in parks, street barricades, impacts on the street, torn up squares. Still defense. Watch out, flak, turn. Back in the protection of the clouds. In Warsaw, too, the resistance of the Polish army was useless. 3 days later, the city surrenders. The Polish campaign is over. In 18 days, the Polish army was defeated. In 30 days, the campaign was over. From the 4th day after the start of the war, our Air Force dominated Polish airspace. Our Air Force is available for new tasks.